Good morning, guys. Today's December 30th. We don't have two days left. We got 31st, and then it's gonna be 2026. Let's talk about the first. The games happened on Monday. The first one is the Charlotte Hornets lost to the Bucks at home. Giannis is playing. That's good. 24 points, 7 assists, and a steal is okay. 70%. If you have Giannis, it doesn't really matter where he ends up. Like he's gonna be top five. Well, if he pound free throws, he's gonna be top five. He's gonna play well. Just the fact that he's healthy and the fact that he's playing, I think it's pretty good. Now he doesn't want to just sit out. Miles Turner had 4 blocks and 6 rebounds and 3 threes, 23 points. That's pretty good. And I would say like Giannis from the mentality perspective, just my feeling. If he's healthy, right, he would play. That's just my feeling. Maybe some other superstar players, right? They just want to sit out. They want to play safe. They don't want to get injured, which makes sense for certain players. Kevin Porter Jr. and Ryan Rollins, they still get to eat with Giannis. Kevin Porter Jr. the points is not there, but still 15 points is okay, 5 rebounds. But he's just doing the other things: 11 assists, 2 steals, and block. And Ryan Rollins could be better, 4 assists and 2 steals and 2 threes. But even with Kevin Porter Jr., I still expect Ryan Rollins to be like a top 50 player. He still have a lot of there's still usage left on this Bucks team, even with Giannis playing. Bobby Portis now we could drop him unless they have a back-to-back. They play the Wizards or Charlotte Hornets every game. Then you might have a case to roster him. For the Charlotte Hornets, Miles Bridges, he left the game early, but nobody really benefits. Maybe LaMelo, Brandon Miller get a few more shots. Maybe Knippel, right? He's also out, get a few more shots, but nothing major. Brandon Miller had a big one with 31 points, 3 threes, but he always gets hurt. 1 steal and a block, really good game. 8 rebounds, 5 assists, but the problem with him is he always gets hurt. LaMelo, the field goal is just bad every game. High turnovers every single game. 7 assists and a steal, 6 threes. Like the counting numbers look fine, just the efficiencies are pretty brutal. And Diabate, with Ryan Cockburner out, he needs to be rostered. 30 minutes of him, he's gonna give you 9, 10 rebounds, a steal, and maybe 2 blocks. He did exactly that here. Moving on to the next game, we have the Phoenix Suns beat the Washington Wizards 115-101. The Phoenix Suns, they beat the Wizards, but they're beating all the teams they're supposed to beat, and then they're like somewhat competitive with some of the playoff teams. So that's I would say like overall as a team, given the KD left, I think they're beating expectations, which is great. Devin Booker, consider you played the Wizards, right? Like you should put up better numbers than this, but still it's all right. Iguodala, also Iguodala could be rostered because. Actually, not really. Mark Williams, I think he just got suspended, so he's going to be back. But, this guy, Iguodala, he's a good fantasy player, I think. Given 30 minutes, he for sure is a must roster. 10 points here, 3 assists, just very solid. Have really low usage. But, Devin Booker is not really looking. The point guards on this team, it's more perimeter. So, his job is really not to score. They don't really run any plays for him. But, doing all the other stuff, which is good. Gillespie is going off again. 25 points with 5 threes, 6 assists, and 2 steals. Yeah, I think even with Jalen Green coming back at some point, they have to play him. Like he's just Allen has always been out as well, but they gotta find ways to give this guy more minutes. I feel like at least he should be playing 20 to 25 minutes every night. At least Dylan Brooks had 3 threes, 26 points. Dylan Brooks is also having a great year on this team, offensively too. Jordan Goodwin had 2 threes, 14 points, 2 steals. Yeah, if guys are out, definitely stream him for some defensive stats. For the Washington Wizards, Alex Sarr had a rough one, and Phoenix Suns this year they turned into a great defensive team. So Alex Sarr struggled, but it's okay. Still had a steal and 2 blocks. Trey Johnson went off. Yeah, he's really good offensively. Obviously, the shots are falling, but he can put up points. And this is a guy that, let's say at some point they don't play CJ McCollum, right? They're gonna give him 35 minutes. He's way better. I think he's a way better fantasy player than Bob Carrington. Um, so yeah, we'll see for sure. Below Kalabali, this game pretty quiet. Still had a block and 3 assists, 7 rebounds. Those are okay. But there will be games where like he just does absolutely nothing. In category leagues, he's still maybe worth a hold or pick up if you're looking for those defensive stats. I don't mind that. And Bob Carrington came off the bench. 27 minutes is not enough for him for us to roster him. Moving on to the next one, the Golden State, where they beat the Brooklyn Nets 120-107. Jimmy Butler got to the line 12 times, 21 points. I feel like Jimmy Butler just needs to be more aggressive. He really does. Like, they really need that second guy to take some pressure off Steph Curry. Like, well, he got to the line 12 times, but he should be taking. I read his stat, like every game is like 11 shots, 12 shots, right? Got to the line a bunch, sure. But I would like to see him taking 15, 16. Because when you watch him play, he could have been more. A lot of possessions, like it seems like he just takes possessions off and just pass offensively, which, I feel like he, could do more to help out the team. Draymond Green took 3 shots. That's fine. A steal and a block, 3 assists, 5 rebounds. And remember, Brooklyn Nets are a great defensive team. Quinton Post struggled here, but not really fantasy relevant. And Curry was actually a -6. Hit 27 points, 5 threes is good. But I don't think the game was particularly close. Pajemski, now he's off the bench. I don't think we really need to roster him. DeAnthony Melton, right, we could stream him for some defensive stats. For the Brooklyn Nets, of course, Michael Porter Jr. Still balling out. 27 points, 3 steals, 5 assists, 9 rebounds with good efficiency, 5 threes. But missed 2 free throws. Yeah, he's having. We always know like he could score. It's And last year, like on Denver, he dealt with some injuries. The problem with him still, like 5 assists is great. Like this year, he's doing a lot of playmaking too. But on Denver, I think because you have Jamal Murray and you have Jokic, his skills, like you just really don't need him to do all that much. They just need guys to sit in the corner. So, yeah, it's good. Good for his career. Just to show that, hey, I don't know what contract he got, probably a big one. He can easily average 25 points if he wants to. He's got all the tools. Cam Thomas, second game back, played just 20 minutes, 13 points. They're ramping him up, but yeah, if you can trade Cam Thomas, like last game he had 30 points. Let's say he comes back, played 35 minutes for like a month, a top 30 player. Yeah, you should definitely try to sell him. For now, I mean, after this game, it's hard to sell. Only play 18 minutes. Igor had a decent one with 23 points, 7 threes. His 7 threes is huge. But I think Cam Thomas at some point is going to take more minutes away from these guards. Claxton had a big one, 3 steals and 3 blocks, and Noah Clowney continued to be solid enough. Was in some foul trouble, but I don't mind rostering him. Of course, the next one, there's some big news. The Denver Nuggets lost to the Miami Heat. And Jokic, you don't really see this very often. But he had a collision, hurt his left knee. We don't know how severe it is. But of course, guys who have him, right? Even if you don't have him, you want to pick up Valanciunas. I think that's a no-brainer pickup. Hopefully, he's not out for too long. I mean, if he's out, like for the let's say the worst-case scenario, it's not good for the NBA. I'm sure he's such a big star. We'll see. From what I read, it seems like he's going to be out a month or two. So let's see. Let's wait for the new news. But Valanciunas, meanwhile, I don't know how much they're going to play him. But, even 20 minutes of him is really solid, like top 50 player. And he might be a guy that you just want to maybe, if he starts, just bet his, overs. Depend where his line is. But, sometimes when these type of things happen, people kind of underestimate how good he could be. Because Valanciunas can come in and just have 20-10 the next game easily. well, obviously depend on the matchup. Certain matchups defensively, he's going to struggle a lot. Jamal Murray is going to have a big. He needs to carry the team, and let's see what. Then let's see if Jokic is out for an extended period of time. Like how many wins can this team get, given their personnel? Because the team is also built around. They don't really have, other than Jamal Murray, right? I guess Bruce Brown can handle the ball a little bit, but the team mainly is built around like guys playing defense and hit threes. Maybe Aaron Gordon will be back soon. That's going to help. Peyton Watson is still in the block. He continues to be rostered, and I guess they love Spencer Jones. Hit all five threes, 16 points. That's pretty good. For the Miami Heat, Kawhi Leonard had a decent one. Played just 24 minutes because Bam is back. But, because also he would have played more minutes if it wasn't a blowout. 19 is decent. And he had 5 offensive rebounds as well. And he's a decent three-point shooter. Of course, all his threes are wide open. But he's hitting them at a respectable clip. So, yeah, he took 6 threes. Third most on the team. I guess fourth most because Jovic also went off. Norman Powell had 25 points and 3 threes, and Davion Mitchell had 9 assists. Davion Mitchell just keep doing this, assists, threes, and steals. Remain on much roster. Even when Tyler Hero comes back, which I don't know what's going on with Tyler Hero. He just gets hurt way too often. Like this year and last year too. So, you just gotta wait, and it doesn't even seem like Miami Heat really need him to win games. Like, sure, he's gonna give you 25 points, but they don't really need him all that much, to be honest. Andrew Wiggins, another great one with 4 threes, 3 steals, and 3 blocks. What a game from Andrew Wiggins. All right, move on to the next one. The Orlando Magic, they beat Toronto Raptors. Yeah, oh my goodness, how about Anthony Black? 27 points. When Jalen Suggs comes back, they got to give this guy more minutes. He's an absolutely must roster. 7 for 7 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Consider they only scored 107 points, and this guy had 27. I like it. Ben Carroll had a triple-double. That's good. Like, 19 shots is good, but he really needs to know, like, when to shoot and when not to shoot. Yeah, they should not let him take too many mid-range jumpers. Desmond Bain struggled a little bit, 18 points. He's going to be okay, I think, next game. But the problem is when Franz Wagner comes back, how are they really going to distribute the shots? Ben Carroll should not be taking 20 shots a game. That's just my opinion. Just from the efficiency perspective or analytics or any... If it's end-of-game situation, you don't want... Right, 3 minutes to go, half court, yes. But this is the first quarter. You should not, first 2 minutes, you should not give the ball to him, let him take a mid-range, right? You should try to get a feel who is hot, and then feed the ball to the 3-point shooter or something like that. But yeah, this guy just takes way too many shots. For the Toronto, great win for the Raptors. Scotty, he went off last game. This game still had a decent one. 11 rebound with 2 steals and block. Brandon Ingram. This is how I feel about Brandon Ingram too. Like, don't score too many points in the first quarter, right? Why not give the ball to Emmanuel? Emmanuel could have had a bad game, only 4 threes. But yeah, like these guys who take a lot of mid-range shots, there's a reason the team is letting you take all these mid-range shots. Like, they're more than okay. Just letting one guy to get hot, I guess, at the mid-range. And then they can always double you. Right. So, yeah. Like Brandon Ingram, I also feel like he takes way too many shots. Sandro got the start. I think he needs to be rostered as long as Pearl is out. His minutes, he's not going to get crazy minutes, or he doesn't have the craziest upside, I think, but he's solid enough, right? He can do everything. Jamal Sheard had a decent one. Like, if you need assists, surprisingly, he got a lot of assists, so you could definitely stream him. Move on to the next one. The Timberwolves, they beat the Bulls 136-101. Chicago was winning quite a few games before this, but they got smacked by the Timberwolves. And Rudy just playing super, super well this year. 10 rebounds, 4 for 5 with a steal and 4 blocks. I like it. Anthony Edwards, pretty easy work. And how about Julius Randle had 14 assists in 28 minutes? He was playing really, really well at a high level, top 10 player with no Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards came back. He's trying to learn how to play, with him. And now he's figuring things out. 14 assists here is really good. Dante DiMaggio hit 4 threes, solid enough. And Jaden McDaniels came back as well. But Naz Reid is the one who went off. 33 points, 6 threes. I do feel like if you're a big man, you versus Vucevic, you just get to go off. Sometimes it's also the same thing for Jokic as well. I don't know about Vucevic, but Jokic for sure. First quarter, second quarter, he's not really gonna play any defense, really, because he can't afford to be in foul trouble. So, yeah, you're a big man. Especially he knows how to get buckets. Yeah. For Chicago, Vucevic 23 points. That's good. 3 threes, and Jalen Smith. With a couple guys out, we could stream him for some threes and points and rebounds. He had a pretty big game here with, also played 26 minutes. Dansumu played 32 minutes. Pretty solid game number-wise, but he was a minus 32. With Kobe White out, yeah, Dansumu could be streamed. We could stream this guy, right? Trey Jones had 21 points. And because... Why did Josh Giddey got... Let me see what's going on with Giddey. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Giddey also got hurt. Hamstring issue. Oh my God. Hamstring issues are kind of tough. So yeah, we definitely want to pick up Dansumu and also Trey Jones, I think, in the short term. As long as Josh Giddey, is out. Matas had a decent one, but he was also minus 26. The next game is the Pacers. They lost to the Rockets. No surprise. 119-126. With each loss, you need to, you're more and more worried about Siakam. 23 points is okay. Benedict Mathurin, 14 points, and Andrew Nembhard had 3 steals and 11. Benedict Mathurin and Andrew Nembhard, if they are playing 35 minutes every night, they need to be rostered. But, in terms of their rank, Benedict Mathurin should have a decent rank given how good his free throws is, but he's actually ranked 147th while making 86% from the free throw line on 5 attempts. It's just the other areas are so pretty bad. 18 points is also good. 2.3 threes is also decent, but just lack of defensive stats is really hurting, and the field goal is bad, which is why he hurt. So, in specific team build, he needs to be rostered. He still needs to be rostered, I think. It's just really hard to get free throws on the waiver wire. Aaron Nesmith come back. If you want some threes and points, you could have him. At some point, they should be starting him. I think J Huff, only 18 minutes now with 4 fouls in 18 minutes, are still in block. Still want to have him for those blocks. For the Houston Rockets, Pacers, they don't really play much defense. KD had 30. Jabari Smith Jr. had 3 blocks, 10 rebounds. All the guys had a great one. With Şengün out, if you want to stream Adams for some rebounds, that's fine. Amen Thompson, Tari Eason. Tari Eason is a must roster. He no questions asked. He's a must roster. He's just so good defensively. Still in the block here, grab rebounds, right? Give you points, solid field goals, and he can hit some threes too, because he's just wide open in the corner. Amen Thompson, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. With a block, 20 points. That's pretty good. Reed Shepherd, it's tough, but I still think we need to roster him. I think just the upside is there, and I think more games than not, he's gonna play close to 30 minutes. Moving on to the next one, we have the Knicks. Well, they barely beat the Pelicans, but a win is still a win. 130 points. Cat. Just every other game, this guy need to know how to not foul. He commits so many dumb fouls. Again, this game is he's in foul trouble. 12 rebounds is good, 2 blocks, 2 threes, but yeah, and it's not like he's playing great defense either. He's just committing stupid fouls over and over and over again. This is going to be a problem for the Knicks in the playoffs, because their backup center, let's say Cat is in foul trouble, who he's in foul trouble like 50% of the time, let's say. And then they need to play Mitchell Robinson, who cannot hit free throws. Um, and, you know, if that's the case, the team start fouling Mitchell, he couldn't make free throws, then the Knicks are cooked, you know. Who is their third? I guess Yabusele is solid enough, but they haven't really played him that much. But really, in the playoffs, you cannot afford to have foul troubles like this. Jalen Brunson, 28 points, 10 assists is good, 5 threes, but Jalen really needs to get more defensive stats in category leagues, but otherwise it's good, but he was a -1. So he's putting up numbers. I don't know. Also, Jalen Brunson, I feel like sometimes he takes way too many shots as well, because you do have Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. I mean, OG had 22 shots here, had a big one, 3 steals and block, but offensively, I don't think, at least in the first 3 quarters, like, if you want to take over in the fourth, that's fine. But yeah, you let Mikal Bridges take more shots. He's an efficient scorer too, right? He can put up 20 points. He only got 5 shots. 10 assists is good for Mikal, 2 steals and block. Yeah. For the Pelicans, I guess they're just starting Jordan Poole off the bench now. They finally started Zion Williamson, and what a game from him. 29 minutes, 32 points. If we can get Zion for a top 40 player, I would absolutely do it. Especially if you're not pounding free throws, you gotta try to get rid of him. But yeah, for whatever reason, he's hitting them. He's been hitting the free throws lately. But this is a big game from him. Pretty good. Derek Queen, 3 for 13. That's disappointing, but 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and still in 2 blocks. You know, I would take that. Trey Murphy hit 5 threes. That's pretty good. And Jordan Poole off the bench. Doesn't get 30 minutes a night, but whenever he's on the court, right, he has pretty good usage. 26 points, 4 threes. He's too good to drop. So you can only try to sell high when you have games like this. And Sadiq Bey is just, they're giving him a lot of minutes, so that's good. Need to be rostered too. The next game, the Atlanta Hawks. Well, with this team, at least the news says, hey, they don't need Trae Young because they find Jalen Johnson. They have Jalen Johnson on this team, so who can play make, and just obviously just way higher ceiling than Trey, because fucking Jalen Johnson is 6'10", right? This game both guys were out actually, so Nickeil Alexander-Walker had a big one with 6 threes, 30 points. He's just very, very solid, and he just find ways to get minutes and usage because guys kept coming in and out. Okungwu also had a big one, 14 rebounds, and Porzingis is, you'd be lucky if he plays 50% of the whatever remaining games. So it's a great pickup if you have Porzingis. So Okungwu also having a great year. I would say around 50-ish type of player. Dyson Daniels are still under 2 blocks, 7 assists. A pretty good game, but not good enough for a 2nd-round pick or 3rd-round pick. Well, he's not getting picked in the second like Josh Giddey. But yeah, still not meeting the expectations where people are drafting him. It's just so hard to replicate the steal numbers he was getting last year, Because now guys know like they're going to be more careful around him too. Luke Kennard hit 3 threes, that's okay. For OKC, good. Shea had 39 points, 2 threes. 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. And now that Jokic is going to be out for an extended period of time, that obviously helps Shea's MVP case. I don't think they really care that much, but MVP is, they just make up some awards to, have the talking points throughout the season. I feel like both guys, of course, it would be nice to get MVPs, but it's really about the championships for both guys. Cason Wallace, 5 threes, 2 steals and a block. Pretty good. If he starts, right, we could definitely stream him. Chet Holmgren had a big one, but, versus Atlanta Hawks, of course, those guys are going to play well. Jalen Williams had a big one as well, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 7, just very balanced. But I'm still waiting for him to pop off with, 7 stocks in one game. That hasn't really happened that much. Moving on to the next game, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. They beat the Spurs 113. The Spurs are weird, I gotta say. The Spurs is just a weird team. Or maybe they match up super well with Oklahoma City Thunder. Like, why are you losing? I guess the Cavs are okay team, but who did they lose yesterday? I forgot. But yeah, I mean they did a good job on Donovan, um, but Jared Allen went off, 27 points and 10 rebounds versus Wemby, Mobley too, 16 points. Both guys was in foul trouble too, 4 fouls, but both guys had a decent game. And Garland had 11 assists, so pretty balanced across the board. Speaking of taking too many shots, I also felt Donovan takes too many shots too. Yeah, like they have a lot of firepower on this team, I would say. Garland can put the ball in the basket. Jalen Tyson too, like he can really score. Mobley, and then like Sam Merrill, of course, a sniper. DeAndre Hunter. You got a lot of guys that can really get buckets. So for them, I think sometimes the defense might could be a priority for them. Or like Donovan can spend more energy on defense the first couple quarters. I mean, he played well. 7 assists, 3 steals, and then he's a plus 15. For San Antonio, Wemby, yeah, just 27 minutes. Look at the numbers, right? He's a big buy low, in my opinion. If you bought low on him, basically anybody other than Jokic, if you do a 1-for-1, you get him, it's a big win. I mean, for a while, right? If you trade Luka to get Wemby, I think that would be a great trade. 14 rebounds is still in the block. The block numbers are still very low because I get it. The teams, they're not really challenging him at the ring that much. So he's not getting as many blocks. So that's going to be a concern always. But yeah, there's also minus 17. Stephon Castle, 8 assists, 15 points. The efficiency is still rough. De'Aaron Fox also had a pretty rough one too. Yeah, nobody played that well on the Spurs. Everybody kind of struggled. And it's going to be very hard holding on to Dylan Harper. He's a good player, but just doesn't get enough minutes when everybody's healthy. The next one, the Mavericks, they lost a close one to Portland, 120-125. And how about Cooper Flag? He struggled here. But, I mean, Cooper Flag, actually, for Cooper Flag, I feel like sometimes he's a little bit way too unselfish. So it's good to see him actually take 20 shots with no AD. But, he did every other stuff, like 8 assists, 3 steals, and blocks. So that's still good. But, for Cooper Flag, one thing he's got to work on is the three-point shot. Daniel Gafford, a little bit underwhelming, two blocks and 8 points. But, we know he's very up and down. Daniel Gafford had a big one, 10 rebounds, a steal, and 3 blocks. As long as AD is out, he's obviously a must roster. And Max Christie had a big one with 5 threes and 25 points. If you want to, pick up Christie, I don't mind it. He's a pretty solid player. But of course, he had 25 points here. The next game, he could just have 8 points and 3 rebounds or 2 assists or something like that. He doesn't really get you too many defensive stats. But the minutes is there. They want to play him. Same thing with RJ Marshall. He's never going to score 25 points. He's going to just every game give you 15 to 18 points, which is good with good efficiency if you were looking for that. Brandon Williams also got 30 minutes. So, yeah, the minutes are a little bit weird. So depending on the day, like some days D'Lo would play 10 minutes. Some days Brandon Williams will come off the bench, play 30. For the Blazers, Shaedon Sharpe, speaking of a guy taking too many shots, Shaedon Sharpe just find a way to take 20 shots every game. 24 points. I mean, they're winning, so I guess it's working. Try to sell high on him. When Jeremy Grant comes back, when Jrue Holiday, he's not getting this many shots in this many minutes. Danny Advia, another big game, almost triple-double, two steals. Yeah, he's just really good. The team is giving him the keys. Donovan had 18 points, 11 rebounds, no blocks, but solid enough. And Kamara had 5 fouls. But a great win. And Robert Williams, really good streamer for defensive stats. 8 and block and rebounds. 8 rebounds and a block, solid enough. And how about Caleb Love? Another great one. 6 threes, 24 points. Offensively, he had it going. If you need points and threes for now, like he's getting a lot of minutes. So I don't mind streaming him. But of course, when everybody comes back, how much time is he really going to have? And they still have Scoot Henderson. I feel like he's better than Scoot Henderson just from the numbers. So let's see what's happened, when all the guys come back for Portland. That's it, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.